Everyone, welcome back. Hour 2 here of week 53. Adam, once he picks up the hammer, I'd pick up the pearl that's on the floor because it passed through the weapon in a sense. So put it back into my bag.
Boop. All right. So you've gotten some new information about the apology of Emperor Fei, and you know that there is more to that story. And now I think this is probably when Kalimat returns. You hear the clip clop sound of goat hooves on the pavement, the rattling sound of the Izzy, get those coconuts. Get those coconuts for me.
Yep.
And the rattling sound of a wagon cart clattering on the floor. So so Kalimat, you return to the inn.
Just bookkeeping. How much is that gonna run me?
I think I said 2 gold for a day's use.
Okay, cool. I'll bring that up with Ramus later.
Okay. All right. So you return and doff your cloak, and now comes the bloody duty of carrying the corpses. I assume you're going to do this out back.
Yes, and I have sort of a kind of a plan. If well, as I was, and I'm assuming everybody's like kind of gathered and well, I have the card here and the beast of burden. So here is the plan, and tell me if you agree or disagree or have anything to add. So taking out body-shaped things would look very, very suspicious. So what I suggest is that we take out superfluous or unneeded pieces of furniture along with these things. So we're not only taking out bodies, we're taking out chairs, maybe a table, maybe anything that will fit in the cart with the 5 bodies. So it looks like we're kind of cleaning out the place rather than transporting dead bodies.
Could you not wrap them in bed sheets?
No, of course we're going to wrap them in bed sheets. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying if you wrap them in bed sheets, they still look like a dead body.
I do worry that the person that tried to sell us drugs outside will question the dead bodies. I just kind of stare at you. Wait a minute. I don't. Should we worry that much?
I wouldn't, but I also wouldn't waste time having the horse having the goat and cart out there for too long just by itself, period. So let's start wrapping up the bodies and grab a chair, maybe a pot, something,
We have some old barrels in the back that are full of rotten food. You could dump those out and put them in there.
Well, then, why wasn't I told about this? You're a genius, Ramus. Ramus, I bow once again to your genius.
Don't tell him that.
Oh, stop. I know. It's a gift.
All right, well, let's get to it then. Let's empty out these barrels and put these corpses inside of them.
Okay. Sure. Yeah. So you find some barrels. I think there's enough to do this once. This is a good plan, but there aren't going to be more barrels later. Like you end up having to jam one guy in pretty good, but you get them all into these barrels. It's grim work. There's a lot of like breaking bones the way they're not supposed to go, so you can fit them in. And then you put the tops on the barrels and go out back. And I think that the goat, because they're well trained. The goat is just sort of standing in the back with the cart, but he has a friend. There is a man or woman, hard to tell at this distance, wearing a ragged cloak. They're not wearing shoes, and they're filthy. Like their feet and legs are filthy. And they have a hood up, and they're staring at the goat, and the goat is just standing there staring back at them. And this filthy person is just like looking at your goat. And doesn't seem to notice when you open the door.
Are all the barrels loaded at this point?
You're moving the barrels from inside to outside. There's nothing on the cart yet.
Okay.
What are you gonna do?
You there? I don't believe you have any business with my goat, do you?
At the sound of a voice, the figure turns and looks, and you can see their face is nearly as filthy as the rest of their skin that you can see, and they look at you with kind of cloudy eyes, and yeah, it's a man. His hair appears to I mean, you can't really see much of it, but he's either bald or his hair is like tucked behind his head, and he has sort of stubble on his face, and he looks up at you and kind of like starts, and then now is staring at you.
Well, if your business with my goat is concluded, you may go.
He hisses at you, just like low, like.
I'm afraid I don't understand you. It's some sort of dialect that I'm unfamiliar with.
He takes a step back, and his foot bumps the bucket of the well and knocks it over, and he gets like startled, and then turns and runs.
All right.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
let him.
Sure. Yeah, that's fine. So you load up the barrels onto the cart. You manage to do most of this work before it gets too hot. And yeah, by midday you're already your grim barrels are loaded up on the back of your wagon.
All right. Now you said there's an abandoned manor.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Or the ruins of one. It seems to have suffered from being on fire.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the resident here was very, I'll say, different, and I don't think they'd mind some corpses.
All right. Well, in lieu of burying them, I think that we find an outlying building, a stable house, something of that nature.
Yeah, as you, Berg, you and Ramus remember, there's the main house, which is mostly crumbled, mostly collapsed in on itself. There's the catacombs below it. There's the woods. There's the garden. There was that mausoleum building that you never went into, and there's the stagnant lake.
A mausoleum looks like a perfect candidate for the the hiding of these corpses. Is there anything else I should know about this?
Well, as long as it's daylight, we should be fine. But the inhabitants are a little restless, so be on guard as we're in there.
Cheerful. Well, let's get this done and get back.
Okay.
Are we all going to help?
I think we should to make it go faster.
Okay. Yeah, we all go then.
Okay, so you lead the goat up to the gates of the House of the Falcon, and then the goat will go no further. Like it stops and like stamps its hoof on the ground and shakes its furry head and tries to turn around, tries to go away. As you're like, no, this way, goat, and it doesn't. This goat does not want to go in there.
All right, well, I guess we unhitch the goat, and I'd say the two strongest on the, I don't know what the terminology is. The two things that coming off the cart that we can pick them up and like wheel it.
Yeah, like it's not the yoke. I don't know. I'm not a fucking cartologist.
Exactly.
Yeah,
we grab those things.
the front part, the part you pull the cart by.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we lash the goat to the gate so he doesn't leave or whatever.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So once the goat realizes you're not going to make him go into the weird place, he just stays standing by the side of the street. He eats some weeds that are poking up between the bricks. So you headed beyond the walls of the House of the Falcon, and I think that immediately Kalimat and Sully, you feel. Maybe you don't know that you both feel it, but you get that kind of like shiver, that like a chill down your spine real quick, even though it's really hot out. You know, you're sweaty already, just being out in the sun. But yeah, like crossing the threshold feels a bit like somewhere between deja vu and waking from a bad dream. You definitely notice why the goat was feeling uncertain.
Okay. Yeah, the second it happens, I just state I do not like this place. Let's hurry along. And probably try to pick up the pace a tiny bit. As much as
It was,
my 12 strength can.
My internet was kind of crapping a little bit on the hotel Wi-Fi, but are we all together still, or do we split? Like, what's the?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, you're all.
So we're leaving the goat, and then we're going together. Okay, cool.
Yep.
Got it. Yep. Okay. All right. So you're gonna head out into the field, and you're headed for the stagnant lake and the mausoleum.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
And I will be keeping an eye on our 6 just to see if there's anybody, tailing us, following us, eyes on, whatever.
You hear any hisses from behind?
Yeah, the weird hissing dude does not seem to be following along. No.
There's got to be a name for that noise though, because it wasn't a hiss. It was like.
I think that's a hiss. It's like
It's a
the same
hiss?
noise a
Okay.
cat, it's the same noise a cat makes when you piss it off, right? Like.
Good point.
So you head in there and start heading up the hill, and at some point you leave the stone. There's a stone roadway that leads up to the manor house. Sorry, JP, I'm messing with your character sheet because I'm checking something. Okay.
Oh, no, it's fine.
So you head up the thing, and eventually you have to veer away. And there's another road that leads off that direction, but it's not as commonly traveled. So you head off in that direction, and this whole area, I think, smells of fire, right? There's a lot of this kind of burnt smell in the air, and there's a vague, like stagnant, kind of fecund, like swamp smell that gets more pronounced the closer you get to the lake. However, on your way over there, Kalimat, I think you're the one. You and or Ramus maybe noticed this. Let me double check real quick. No, it's you, Kalimat. So Kalimat, you hear a faint like throbbing sound. It's like a thump. It's either distant or quiet or both. You hear this like, and then it stops, and then a scraping, and it's almost quiet enough that you feel it in the ground more than you like hear it. You hear a scraping, you hear this grinding sound, and then another thump, and then more thumping, and then occasionally a scraping sound. It's very faint.
Would I liken this to like I don't know what kind of giant beast, but like an elephant?
Yeah, sure. That's
Okay.
reasonable. Like a very large elephant or a very distant elephant.
Okay.
But yeah, totally. It feels like the movement of a heavy thing somewhere nearby, or something very heavy further away.
Okay. Can I gauge a direction of which is coming? Is it a place that we're heading to, or something that we're heading away from?
You're like orthogonal to it. It's to your left if you're going forward. So
So if the cart is going at 12 o'clock.
yeah, it would be like between 9 and 10, somewhere off in that.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, cool. And I'm not that far away, so it's not like I have to yell or anything.
Yeah,
But I just
showing the other.
kind of tell everybody, or ask everybody, I'm not the only one feeling that vibration on the ground, am I? There's a vibration and a like something's being dragged or something. Hold on. Stop for 1 second.
Yeah, I kneel
Can you
down,
feel that?
put my hand on the ground. I feel it after a couple seconds, and we're all quiet.
Yeah, if you even take a second to like listen, you can definitely hear and feel it. Like if you kneel down and put your hand on the ground, you can feel it like thumping regularly and stopping.
Oh man, I'm trying to figure out some bullshit intelligence stuff here. Can I figure out the distance this thing should be from us with how loud the thuds are on the ground, knowing
Are you doing some sonar right now?
I'm doing the
I was gonna
fucking
say
some
you're
numbers
a
and stuff.
wizard. Damn it, JP, you're a wizard, not a
starts-
seismograph.
Yeah, but I've got 18 inch, man. I could probably
He
work
starts
the
going with his
math.
total mouth, just like
It's all math, man.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think you have that information.
Okay.
It's either the problem is that you would need to know how heavy it is to know how far away it is, or how far away it is to know how heavy it is. It's like I said to
I'm not
Zeke,
smart
it's
enough
either-
as a human being to explain how I could know this in character, so
I don't think it's a factor of intelligence about missing information.
All right.
Yeah, it's either very very large and very far away, or the closer it gets to you, the smaller it is.
I think when everybody does the like trying to feel like he tries to feel the vibration. Berg like maybe crouches down and instinctively uses his right arm, like the stone one, and and then just like realizes he's being really dumb and goes to the other arm.
Yeah, so you're all aware of it.
Okay. Is there some sort of
And Adam, you said we had a vague idea of what direction it was coming from.
Yeah, if you were to place yourself based on your memory of the yard, it's coming from somewhere between the grove, like where all the trees are, the hunting copse, and the house itself.
Is there some sort of I don't know, menagerie, like a zoo that is near here?
Well, there was a very large stone creature, like we faced a long time ago, but I think it was more towards the wood area that way. So whatever that is, I don't know what's making that sound.
I'm sorry. A what? No.
Did you say a construct is on the grounds here?
Big stone thing, like this big creature climbed on it, poured something on it, and like it came alive and attacked us and killed one of us. It's fine. It happened a while ago.
Large stone giants. What? You haven't seen anything like that.
Oh, did I forget to mention there's little goblin dudes that want to kill us in here? But
Right. Goblin dudes.
little creatures. They like seem very mischievous.
I was upset when they got away.
Well, you two, or it's Sally and Berg that are carrying the car, right?
Yeah, at the front.
Okay. So, Sally, Berg, keep moving the cart. If you, I'm going to go check ahead. I'm going to go scout ahead and see if there's any giant stone thing or goblins, I suppose. And if I see any, I will come back and warn you all. How does that sound?
That would be great. And if you die, please scream really loudly so we can hear you.
Try
I will make a
not
note
to
of it.
die.
But
I
try
will make
not.
a note of that as well.
Good luck.
Thank you, Berg. And I'm off sneakily.
Okay, can you roll stealth?
I certainly can.
Thank you. Okay, you got an 11, which is the worst, the least stealthy you
got
could
a plus,
possibly be.
plus 10 and stuff. Can you roll a 1?
What?
the worst.
You got a big fucking bonus, huh?
Oh, wait a minute.
The least
Can
stealthy
you
ever.
use inspiration after the fact?
Nope.
No.
Okay, never mind then.
That's okay.
Unfortunately, not.
Still just mildly above average. Okay, so you
So when he
where are you
stealths
going?
off,
Are
is he
you-
just screaming? Is he just like, no one can see me?
It's just that you're in open terrain. Right?
He's
You have
doing his own
this dry
music.
grass. This dry grass tied in. It's the middle of the day. It's bad circumstances. So are you
Christ.
where are you going, Kalimat? Are you going towards the sound, or are you going towards where you're headed?
No, I'm. Yes, going towards the sound. Yes.
Okay, all right.
Yep.
So you head off that way. All right.
Yep.
So this estate is quite large, so it takes some time before you see anything. But thankfully, the thing you see is enormous, so you see it at quite a distance.
Okay.
So through the haze of the summer sky, limned against the bronze of the clouds, you can see a massive shape. It's vaguely man-shaped. Seems to be, 20 feet tall, maybe. But it looks not so much like a statue as a statue that has fallen apart and been held together by thin threads of purple black like gossamer. So it's a statue with an arm, but then at the elbow it's broken off. There's a piece of its forearm missing, and then its hand and its arm are connected by this sort of wispy kind of, it looks like fog or smoke. Same thing, there's a big piece of its torso missing, and it's being reinforced by this purplish light. And when you see it, it is currently digging through the rubble of the manor, picking up large blocks of stone that are still mortared together, setting them aside. And when you see it, it's got one of its legs up on a wall, and it's trying to wrench a huge wooden beam free. So it's like pulling on it. So you can hear this, and as we see it, it pulls it out, stumbles back, kind of toddles a little bit. Part of the roof that's not totally burned collapses in. It sets the thing down, and you can see that it seems to be dragging stone. It's pulling stone out of the house and dragging it somewhere out of view, somewhere like back behind the woods. Yeah.
So this, I mean, if we were going the direction we're going with the cart, we would definitely be noticed by this thing.
Nope. You can if you're quiet, you don't make a lot of noise, you could try to avoid it. It's not in the same direction as you are.
Okay. Can I make any sort of knowledge check to see if I know what this thing is, or if I've ever?
Make an Arcana check.
Okay.
13. Okay. I mean, you know stories of magical constructs built by sorcerers of great power, or embodied by gods who need a creature of power to serve them. It seems to be performing a task, and it's building something, but you can't see what it's building. Do you have any other questions about it? I mean, 13 is pretty like passable knowledge, but you're
Sure.
pretty sure it's kind of magical construct, yeah?
No, yeah. Figured
no
as
shit.
much with that, but what I think I was searching for was, can these things like be like, for lack of a better term, be like set to kill anything that comes in sight?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Okay.
But this does not seem to be acting a sentry. You know, it's not standing firm, watching. It seems like distracted by whatever.
Don't give me that DM shit. Don't give me that. It seems to be distracted.
Understand. This is what happens when you know you rolled an 11, my friend.
It seems safe.
All right, dude. Fine. You want it. It turns to
No.
look at you. Its back opens up and all its missile pods come out and just fucking.
There you go.
Get
No, I'm just fucking with
20
you.
Tomahawk missiles hit you for 17 billion damage.
All right. I kind of scan the area to see if there's a. Okay, so you said we would stand a pretty good chance of not being spotted if we are going the direction we're going.
Yes, it doesn't appear.
Okay.
I mean, you're out of its way for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then I'll just stay here until.
So
I'll split the difference so I can.
Just so everybody's clear, like the woods are here. If the woods are there and the house is here, the pond is over there, and the mausoleum would be like right next to it. So y'all were coming up this way. That's the road that leads to the house.
Okay.
And then you went that direction.
Okay.
So for you, Kalimat, you would have stopped here and gone up this little hillock to be able to see the creature, and he's like at the side of the house, and whatever he's building is over this way.
Okay. Then I will position myself in such a way, hopefully, that I can kind of split the difference between the cart's path and the golem, so I can maybe keep an eye on both.
Okay.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think so. Sure.
The fucking touchdown, Jesus.
So you can stay. Yeah, you can kind of stay in this little delta here, and keep an eye out in case it decides to approach this way. But for the most part, you're okay.
Yep. Okay. Cool.
All right. So you return. You return, and is anybody? Did you guys just wait for him to come back?
No. I said keep going.
Okay. All right. So you meet up with them kind of back, like along the path, closer. All right. So you guys, Berg and Sully and Ramus, you come upon the lake, right? So when you get to the area, remember the last time you saw it, It's like a gross, stagnant lake. Big layer of scum on top, lots of buzzing insects, flies, and mosquitoes. Looks like it had not been attended to in a very long time. And then behind it, this mausoleum, the capstone on whatever is below. Now, remember, there wouldn't be bodies inside. This would be a place where they would keep mementos of the dead. It would be like a little death shrine to basically to inter family members' belongings as a way to remember them. However, when you get to the lake, the mausoleum, it's more like an excavation. So the actual mausoleum is gone. The little like capstone bit is missing. There is a very seriously tiered hole in the ground. The lake seems to have just kind of flooded into this hole. So it's a wet, muddy sinkhole that goes about 20 feet deep. And all of the stone is missing. There are massive drag marks that go this way. And you come to the edge of this pit. And it's just like a big scummy pit.
Well, I for one am. I'm back with them, right?
Let's give them a second first, and then you can.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, Ramus, this is very different. You and Berg have seen than the way you saw it last time.
What the hell is going on here? Why would they move all this stone?
Uh-oh. Max looks like he's doing his lagging.
My
thing.
internet's lagging. Yeah, so
Yeah.
I'd rather not go like.
No, it's fine. You have been here before. What has changed?
Well, there used to be a building right there, a mausoleum, and another little building beside it, but they're both gone. And
Perhaps it is simply remodeling.
look at the house; it's on fire. The lords aren't. Well, would she be remodeling? But why?
You are speaking in abstractions that I do not understand. You have to give me context.
Well, I don't know you well enough yet to just tell you everything, but the person that owns this house doesn't really. I don't think they really care about remodeling. Someone just dragged all the stone away. I don't know why.
Are they... Could they do this themselves, or would they need help?
I think that's... Yeah, I mean, on that query, that like, I wonder if they could do it themselves. That's when Kalimat returns from Operation Stealth Mission. You hear him coming miles away.
I see like some of the grass like moving as if it's a small rabbit or something causing it.
Mm-hmm.
Kali,
I'm
is that
guessing
you?
He's like in desert camo against the forest background instead of the other way right now.
Yeah. I just call out when you're probably 20 or 30 feet. Kali, is that you? Sneaking on the ground. Surely it is. I can see one of your horns.
Keep it down. Keep it down. And you see the look on Kalimat's face, like he's like looks like he's seen something. I met our stone friend. Well, I didn't meet him. I saw him, and it looks like he is taking charge of reorganizing this property. So my suggestion to all of us is that there's a convenient hole right here. I say we just kick the barrels off of the back of the cart into said hole and collect the cart, take it back to the entrance, hook the goat back up, I'll take it back, and then we have breakfast and forget this ever happened.
I'm sorry. Did you say... Beautifully timed.
And just then,
beautifully
Kaliava
timed.
had the greatest idea.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Did you say stone golem? A construct is here?
Yes. You've heard the stories. I'm sure you dabble in magic. A construct, something made of stone, where it's being held together by magic.
Yes, of course. We used them when I grew up. Can I make an Arcana roll to see how much I know before I just spout some bullshit lore that I don't actually know? 26. All right, I know a pretty good amount.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. What would you like to know? Like you know.
I know. Well, You tell me
I would
what's
say
wrong
Sully,
here.
at this with a 26, Sully Huffa knows everything about golems and constructs that the monster manual would be able to offer you, right? Like their common weaknesses, the materials they could be built out of, that sort of thing.
Well, then I'll ask you things that potentially aren't in the rule book that I might know of.
Yeah, stuff.
Do they have like activation words, or are they living things that don't really have like an on-off?
It depends. You can build them both ways. Sometimes you'll build them to be sentries to protect a place and say anyone who's not me or anyone not holding this object or anyone not wearing this color. You can trigger them that way. Sometimes you can just give them a semblance of consciousness. True, there's a school of heretical build that implies that you could steal a soul and imbue them with that, but that's like. That's Mara stuff. We don't do that. But yeah, I mean, you could. There may be a secret word that would shut them off, that kind of thing.
Okay.
But yeah, imbuing immaterial objects with the semblance of life, not so hard if you know the spells.
Can we also say that for lore flavor, that upon visiting King Persnitatron in my journeys to find Berg, that he told me they are quite fearsome?
Yeah, there's a big sign outside the burgeoning forest gnome kingdom that you visited that has a crudely drawn picture of a robot on it with a circle around it and a line through it.
Yeah.
And that even the word construct is banned in the forest gnome language.
Beautiful. I love it.
Yeah.
But there's no way that I could basically know a command word is specific to the owner of a construct. It's not like there's a general sum
Correct.
of 500 command words. Okay.
Yeah, there's no like skeleton key that you would use to do.
All right. I'm super interested in studying this thing. So I did it notice you?
No.
These constructs run a pattern, so to speak. I wonder if we could study it from afar and it would break that pattern or not.
Of course. Let's go up and taunt the thing that could stomp us to death with one foot.
I did not say I wanted to taunt it. I simply wanted
Just
to
a warning.
look at it.
Last time we got near this thing, someone died. It killed.
Why do we want to get closer?
Curiosity.
There's no we here. It's just him.
It is just me.
Is this worth your life?
Well, one could say finding you was not worth my life, but I stand here alive. You did not kill me.
I didn't destroy you. I am not a construct.
Well, perhaps I will come back here on my own accord in some days or months or perhaps years. I start to grab one of the bodies and drag it towards the pit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the pit looks like it was dug with excruciating precision. Now, Sully, you without a tool to measure the angles, you can't be certain, but it looks like a near perfect square, and then a slightly smaller near perfect square below it, and then again and again, like a ziggurat but upside down. And it's carved out at 10-foot exact depth, and then another 10 feet, and then another 10 feet. So it's like 40 feet deep, all told. It digs quite down into the earth, and you can see from up here at certain intervals at the edge of the pit openings where the catacombs might have been below, but now look like just like empty ventricles, just openings that go down into whatever might be left.
Okay.
But yeah, it looks like whatever was digging here was digging for something specific or digging for raw material in blocks.
Sure. I probably go back or go to the edge of where I can, look down, notice that without dragging the body and turn back. I do not believe we can make sure that all of these reach the bottom of this pit, but perhaps if we, or I, rather, levitated this to the center and dismissed the spell, it would drop to the deepest hole. Is that okay with everyone?
Fine by me.
I don't mind if they're discovered. I just don't want them to be discovered today while we're around them.
Well,
No one comes here.
The
Why
deep,
do we care if someone finds bodies?
Yes, no one comes here ever.
fair enough.
You can feel the feeling in the air. People don't like it here.
I grab one of the bodies and just start kind of dragging it by its foot, and just
I
going
mean,
off
they're-
in the
they're-
first
they're in the
square.
barrels. You can just roll the barrels into
Oh,
the
okay,
barrel.
yeah. We just roll the barrels in.
Okay. Very few of them make it to the bottom. The barrels break after a few bounces, but yeah, now there are some bodies. It looks, if you were really creative and didn't look too hard, it looked like maybe these guys all fell in the pit. But yeah, there's now bodies in this hole in the ground.
Simple enough.
Yeah.
Perfect. Job well done.
Okay. All right, so you turn around and you head back to the inn.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Okay, sure, sounds good.
Well, as soon as we get to the gate, I tie the goat back up and I tell them
Well,
I will.
Okay, well
me-
let's wait because I just want to make sure you were going back. I'll tell you when you get to the gate.
Okay, what the plan is? Take the cart back to the goat. I tie it up. They go back to the inn. I take the cart back to
Sure.
the place I got it from. Yeah.
Okay, so you head back towards the gate, and as you get back to the road, you can hear somewhere there's like a crash, not a crashing sound, but a loud thump of two like heavy stones being one dropped on the other from the other side of the woods, yeah, it doesn't look like the thing has come near the road. It doesn't wander by. Maybe if you look when you hear that sound, you can see just above the tops of the trees the vague edge of a shoulder and the top of a
Oh,
misshaped head.
I'm definitely trying to get a sight on this thing.
Yeah, you can just barely make out a bit of the top of it on the other side of the trees.
When I see the top, I ask Carly, how big did you say this construct was? That tree is quite tall, much larger than any construct I've seen.
I'd say about blank high.
Right. It is like about 20 feet, give or take.
How about? Hi.
Yeah. It wouldn't be as tall as the trees if the trees weren't all like burnt and withered from that forest fire.
With a 26 on the construct Arcana check, would I know that is like very abnormal for a construct to be that large, or is it pretty normal?
They say that the city of Brass was built by constructs bigger than that, but that was, in an age undreamed.
And that's also an oddity as well, right?
It's very expensive to build a construct, and the bigger it is, the more expensive it is.
Okay. Then I say that is an oddity. They are very expensive and very hard to come by. Whoever commands that commands great power and has wealth beyond my imagination.
The owner of this place was a very, very old and powerful man that probably had enough money to finance such a thing.
Was?
There's a new owner now. She's lovely. You might meet her one day. Hopefully not, but you might.
Oh, would you say that this person is now in charge of this golem? Did it change hands like inheritance?
Yeah, she took over the place. He wasn't too happy about it, but he eventually gave in.
Our friends said they don't know us well enough to tell us the full story, Calimont. Perhaps we will get it one day. And I've kind of turned like matter-of-factly, so if I'm a little bit upset by that, and continue walking.
Right now, all you need to know is we should go.
Yeah, we kind of told her we wouldn't bother her, so we need to get out of here.
Wow, there's a lot of things that maybe we should have discussed before we put this plan into action. But
It's a
no,
totally innocuous haunted noble's manor. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
all right.
All right.
So you return to the site of where you tied the goat up, and you find most of the goat, like two-thirds probably. It's got like there's a couple of legs and like maybe one of its horns. It's a lot of fur. Some of its innards are still there, but there's basically just like a rope hanging from the gate where you tied it, and blood and human hand and footprints scattered about, bloody drag marks. Yeah, the goat appears to have been sloppily butchered with a dull implement.
Like teeth or like hands?
Goat chunks all over the place.
Well, I hope
She
Okay.
rented you a lemon. God damn it. I hate faulty goats.
They explode and their guts everywhere. But yeah,
Must resist the urge to say clever girl.
If you tap them enough, they explode.
Kale, I
So-
hope you paid for
yeah.
this full goat, because I do not believe you can return half a goat.
Well, how much could a goat and a cart cost? If I get the cart back,
Well, it depends on
we
how
have to
much-
drag the cart back then.
Depends on how much that goat means to someone. Hope it was not their favorite.
Can I do like investigation or something to see what did this?
yes, definitely.
Okay. Can anybody else want to help? That's fine.
Yeah, Kalimat appears to want to like look around.
Yeah.
Well, things have been a little crazy around here lately. People are acting weird ever since she took over the manor. Things have been getting really weird, like this, animals dead in the street, people kind of going missing. Like, things aren't great in this neighborhood right now.
It's quickly becoming apparent that we need to be told the full story. Perhaps tonight over... And I look towards Kalimat. Perhaps tonight over hot rolls and wine.
You had me at wine.
With the last word of the sentence.
Well, I'm glad I... Yes. Kalimat, we should
Kalimat,
get this back.
Yeah, while everyone's talking, you're taking a look. So I think that it looks like a sloppy butchery job. Like it doesn't look like it was killed by an animal. There's no claw marks anywhere. It looks like someone tried to chop this goat up with a rusty knife. In fact, I think you probably find the snapped blade of the knife in one of the goat's remaining like bones. Like maybe its ribs or its rib cage is still there, got some meat on it, and you find a chunk of the point of the knife snapped off, stuck into like its collarbone. Otherwise, it's just gristle and gore everywhere. Lots of smeared hand and footprints. You figure this is the work of probably 2 or 3 people?
Humans, though.
I mean, they have human-shaped hands and feet.
That's what I meant. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I just kind of shake my head and well, it's very strange. I don't know why anyone would just butcher a goat out in the middle of nowhere. All right. Well, that is notwithstanding. I have to get this cart back, pay for a lost goat. But, well, yes, that's what I need to do. I don't want to raise any more suspicion than is needed. And I'm guessing I'll probably have to pay extra to make sure the person doesn't ask any questions about the goat. So, all right. How do you guys suggest that we get this cart back to the place?
Never mind. I was going to suggest something, and then I finished reading the end of the spell.
So wait,
I think if you just take the rest of the day to like take the cart back and deal with that, that's fine.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
would you like? You said you like rented the. It's not your cart. You just like borrowed the cart or something like that.
Yeah, I rented the goat in the cart. I didn't buy it.
Oh. I mean, you got to figure that in their business, sometimes they don't get their goat or their cart back.
Yeah, you just pay a little extra.
Well, that's why they offer you that optional insurance.
They always offer you the insurance. Yeah.
You never
Would you like
succeed
to?
it, and
Then
then
one
like,
time you don't take it.
a bunch of cannibals eat your goat.
There's a term
So-
for that. It's called breakage.
This option just covers the cart and the goat, but it doesn't cover you.
Not the contents of the goat. Okay, so yeah, I mean, I think you can take the cart back, and that's fine. And if you're willing to pay the guy not to make a big deal out of it, he'll accept 70 gold to shut up about it and move on with his
All
life.
right.
I'll
pay.
give you the 70 gold out of our group.
Okay.
We have
Cool.
a group pile that I have.
There's
Perfect. All right,
70
then you
gold.
deduct it. Perfect.
Yeah. Yep.
Fucking that goat didn't seem that impressive.
Hey,
No,
it depends on how much
it's
they like the goat, man.
Listen,
lips.
Max.
Up his lips.
The goat knew not to go into that cursed place. So in a way, you might say that goat was able to sense danger. So in a way, you might say that goat is at least as useful as you are.
Whoa. Whoa. Shots.
That's fair in a sense.
Shots.
So let's
Listen,
not talk shit about the goat. All
I
right.
fire shots at him. He shoots back. This is our relationship.
Listen, why don't we take Berg to market and see how much we can get?
Yeah.
So okay. So you pay off the goat.
I think we already know exactly how much we'd get for Berg. It's on.
It's on the paper. Yeah.
True.
So while that's happening, what's Ramus, Berg, and Sully? What are you doing?
How long would you say he goes and takes care of that for? Like, I'd probably wait around 20 or 30 minutes if he doesn't.
Oh, it's a while. It's a couple hours. Yeah.
Okay. Well, fuck, man. The knowledge boner is strong after seeing this construct, so I go up to my room and I want to summon a familiar. I want to get a hawk and see if I can watch this thing through the eyes of the hawk.
Okay. Sure. That's fine. Now, is this something that I mean, I imagine you're a wizard of some practice. You've summoned familiars before.
Yes.
Okay. So why do you not already have one?
Well, you see, we had this owl once, and we sent the owl to try.
See, rookie mistake.
Hey, broken heart.
Don't use an owl.
You just don't. And don't name the owl. Don't even get attached to it.
Nope.
For reference, Zeke, we once tried to use an owl to drop drugs. It was
Every time it got summoned, it died shortly after.
Like the first round of combat, every time eaten by a wyvern. This owl's been around.
Yeah.
A dark.
Alligator.
Didn't go good for him.
Oh
Okay,
my God.
so you're gonna summon a hawk. Is it a because it's a celestial hawk.
Yeah, Celestial Fair Fiend. It'll be Celestial.
Okay, celestial hawk. Okay, and does it have a name, or is it simply just like a spirit of a hawk spirit given form?
Turtle wizards don't like to name their man, what is it about me and always going back to slaves? They don't like to name their summoned creatures, because then it becomes a person and they don't believe in feelings.
Yep.
So
Well, what I think you do when you summon the familiar is that because it's like kind of conjured from your essence. You're making a deal basically with the god that is responsible, the high spirit of bats, crabs, frogs, lizards, etc. Right? So the god, there is a god of hawks. There's a hawk god in heaven who, when you cast this spell, gives you a spirit hawk in exchange for your your sort of bond to it. So it's just a shadow of the greater hawk god. Okay, cool. So you conjure this celestial hawk. You call it from heaven. Your spell consumes the 10 GP charcoal, incense, and herbs.
Yep.
And so this hawk appears before you. And now you can order it to do as you wish.
now,
So you want to take a look?
yeah, it can go up to 100 feet within from me. So I would think from our corner of the inn, you tell me how far across that gets into the manor.
You can get a good look at it from above at a distance, right?
Yeah, I'm just kind of wanting to study and see what it does. So I definitely, whether it's in my room or downstairs, wherever it is, I kind of go into a trance and look through the Hawkeyes for at least long enough to try to see what this thing's doing, to understand its pattern.
Make an investigation check.
Nah, damn it! Can I use the keen sight of the hawk, which wisdom advantage perception checks, or no? You want me to make investigation still?
Yeah, I don't because it is based on its vision. What I was asking for investigation rather than say perception is for just seeing things. Investigation is about
Understanding it?
correlating information. Yeah, figuring things out.
Can I make a perception check to see if I get advantage on the investigation check?
Yeah, sure. Let's do that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Lawyer.
Do like a link.
Lawyer.
Link
Yeah. So what is the investigation of a hawk? It has +4 perception. So I'll just roll d20 +4. 14. Does that give me
Okay. All right.
advantage?
Yeah. That's fine.
Okay.
So yeah, having a hawk's eyes for a purely visual thing, the picture is clear enough for you to focus on the pattern, right?
Yeah.
So so now make your investigation check with advantage.
17. Didn't help me that
Nice.
much, but still.
Good roll in both directions. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, the hawk's keen sight grants you, and its perspective of being able to fly grants you advantage to investigate the situation. And I think that what you see is actually really cool to see it from above. So there is an area back behind the woods, an area that has been cleared, and you can see there are trees kind of surrounding it. Like he's carved out an area of the trees and flattened the ground. So the ground is all recently tilled and flattened out, as though one were to be planning on building a foundation upon it. Stone and wood from both the building itself and from the earth around the mausoleum have been repurposed and created, built into a flat, like a floor kind of whatever he's building. You can see that he seems to be building a staircase, but the staircase leads to nowhere, right? It goes up. There's an arch that's kind of half finished at the top of the stairs. The whole thing is maybe 10 feet tall. And there are sort of two pillars down at the front. So these two pillars with flat tops, a set of stairs that go nowhere, and then a partly finished arch up at the top. And and he's just like, the golem is the construct is collecting materials from the house and using it to build this staircase.
Being that I had just been in the library probably a couple days prior to this, with the understanding that there are ways to reach other planes of existence basically within this city, I start to wonder if this is a stairway to somewhere else.
Yeah, totally. One does not generally build the stairs before they build the rest of the building, and it doesn't seem like he's preparing to build anything to attach these stairs to.
Right. Okay. How long am I watching this to kind of understand all of it? An hour, 10 minutes, 5 minutes?
Oh, no, yeah, only a few minutes. Yeah,
Okay.
This is just like the hawk makes a couple of circles, and you're seeing it at quite a distance, but you can see it happening.
Okay, I probably spend as much time as possible, at least till Kalimat gets back, just watching this whole progress, this whole thing progress forward.
Okay. All right. Ramus and or Berg, is there anything that you want to be doing?
I think I'm just studying the amulet that she gave me, the assistant gave me, just to see what I can figure out about it.
Okay. All right. Why don't you make an Arcana check?
Okay.
Nice.
Okay. It's a primitive looking thing. Not pretty to look at. Marked with some strange scratchings. The symbol, it's kind of like an M shape, but it's not an M. It's just in that shape. And it's marked on the surface of this little token. And it looks like it was made with no real craft. It's just fired clay. Doesn't appear to be magical. Just bears a sigil of some kind.
Okay. That's what I'm doing. I'm just looking at it, tinkering with it.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
fine.
Trying to figure out what it is. Yeah. Okay. And Berg, what are you doing?
So Sally Hoffa, he's doing the whole hawk thing and like meditating. Where exactly are we like right now? Still, like where are we?
Back in the end.
You're back.
We're in the inn. Okay, so we're in the inn while you went up to go do your thing and like meditate and see through the eyes of the hawk.
Sure.
I guess Berg would be examining his weapon. He doesn't really do it that often, except for, just to make sure that it's good to go. But as he's realized that the weapon itself is, it's like this mystical, it's sturdy, like it's not going anywhere. It's got magical properties to it. I think he's just kind of mulling over what Sally Hoffa told him as best he can without hurting his head too
Without
much.
hurting himself.
Yeah, he's just trying to think like,
So
think on what he
unlike,
said.
yeah, unlike when we saw it from Sally Hoffa's perspective, when Berg looks at the hammer, you can see the thing moving. You can watch the chariot kind of like slowly riding around the outside of the head of the hammer. You see the creatures like crawling up, trying to get at the emperor, and him smashing them down with lightning. You can see the clouds roiling above him, and it moves all real slowly, like around the outside as you stare at it. And if you concentrate, and if you're in a quiet room, you can hear like the hooves of the goat. You can hear the crack of thunder. You can hear the whispering of the creatures, all at a great distance, kind of like remembering a song, right? You don't actually hear it with your ears, but you looking at it, you remember the sounds.
I'm picturing like what is it? Was it in the Skyrim trailer or whatever it was, where it was like going on the wall and like everything kind of moved and stuff?
Yeah, totally.
That's awesome. That's cool.
Yep.
Yeah, so maybe Berg's just kind of zoning out and paying attention to the fact that like he can actually like even hear it and is wondering if he's insane.
So does Calumet come back and we're all just having like arcane trips inside that?
I was gonna say, yeah, Calumet, you come back and it seems like everyone has done a bunch of acid and is just staring at inanimate objects. Like
We ended up getting the drugs outside from the creepy guy.
Turns out we did eat some of those priests and they ate some bad shit.
Yeah, Jesus.
Yeah.
So before I come back at him, I just want to take a second because I noticed that Ramus said something about wine and that he liked wine. He said you had me at wine, something like that. So I'm going to stop anywhere like a wine cellar, something like that. If I can find one, ask around and see. Like after the whole goat or the golden cart incident is returned, I would like to find a nice, pricey bottle of wine for Ramus for basically saving my life twice.
Yeah. Okay. Let's have you make a roll. I mean, I feel like like a relatively cultured person. Let's have you make a. No, you know what it is? It's going to be investigation. Let's have you do an investigation check to find a kind of wine that Ramus might like. Something appropriate for Ramus.
This is a
God,
big
I hope
roll.
you get him something and he's just like,
This is a pretty
what
important
the
roll.
hell is this swill?
We should take a break before you make
Let's
this.
take a break. Okay.
Ever so
All right, we'll take a
important
break
roll.
before you do
What
your-
kind of wine? Find out in a bit.
Exactly. All right. 2 hours left to go. Still got 2 more. We'll be right back with more right after this. We'll see you then.